reset and we'll start talking. Welcome to my channel. My name is Cameron. We are here today to talk about being a Christian in a modern world. Today's world, we have all kinds of things. We have YouTube, we have television, we have serious radio, we have all kinds of things vying for attention. And you know what? Most of this doesn't portray us as Christians very well. Not like we portray ourselves very well. But today I want to kind of talk about television and how we're portrayed on television. Typically what you see on a television show is we're really portrayed as stuffy, as judgmental and hateful people who hate gay people, and we hate sex, we hate this, we hate that, and we're hypocritical people. That last part's accurate, pretty darn accurate. We're really hypocritical, and so when was the last time you saw Christians portrayed in a positive light? The only television show that comes to mind, remember the show Seventh Heaven? That was a really good show. On the whole, I liked it. The production quality was a little low. And everything. And as the kids grew up, acting ability, you saw that kind of thing going up and down. But there it is. But, so you see us portrayed in such a way, and it's no wonder that when we're talking to people, we're talking to our friends and our neighbors about our faith. It's no wonder that they don't want to hear what we have to say, because they think they know who we are. They think they know what we stand for, and the hypocrisy comes out usually, and we say things when they start talking to us about gay people, and we start saying things like love the sinner, hate the sin, those kind of things. And then you know what they hear? Hate. That's all they hear is the word hate. And I think one of the things we need to do as Christians is just say we love them all. We want everybody to know that we love them, regardless of how they live their lives, regardless of how they are having their personal lives. Jesus loves them, and if they're doing something that is not Christ-like, well, they can be that means they fit in. They're one of us. We're a screwed up lot, and we forget that sometimes. And so if a person is gay, this does not mean they're bad people. This does not mean that they're even. I'll be honest with you. I have a tough time even telling people that the gay lifestyle is a bad lifestyle from Christ's point of view, and because I don't see them as being hateful. I see them as loving one another, and that's an important thing. Now, I don't like to see we're here, we're queer, deal with it, people, any more than I like to see a Christian come up and say at the corner with a big old sign that says follow Christ or go to hell. I don't want to see that either. But and that's another thing that people see is, by the way, is there an alternative phrase to saying hate the sin and love the sinner? Is there an alternative phrase? I think if we just start saying, love everyone more, I think that's going to be an important aspect. One of the things I've seen on television is, if you ever watched the show Doctor Who, I've always liked the show Doctor Who. It was a fun show, and it still is. I remember watching when I was a kid, back when Tom Baker was the Doctor, and that was, at that point in time, that was a long time ago. I'm getting old. I remember seeing it through all that, and then they reset it, and it was really cool. We saw the first Doctor that came back, lasted one season, and David Tennant was on for several seasons, and then Matt Smith came on, and when we saw Matt Smith come, well, actually, it was at the end of the David Tennant, we started seeing this really Doctor Who social experiment thing going on. And I kind of didn't catch a lot of it at that point in time. Then when Matt Smith became the Doctor, I liked him. I really did. It was kind of kind of goofy guy with the different with the different hats he'd wear and the bow tie and everything. And that was fun. But one of the things that happened that I just didn't quite appreciate started happening. That's better. So what I saw with Matt Smith was suddenly became a social experiment with Doctor Who. Suddenly there was a gay person in almost every episode. I remember a horse having an alternative lifestyle on one episode. And every episode seemed to have a whacked out judgmental Christian in it. And every episode had a very moderate, very logical, very well educated Muslim in it. I don't want to get into the weeds of Muslim versus Christian today, because that's going to be a whole nother video. We're going to talk about those kind of things. But what we see in it is we saw that shift. Now, as a Christian, I got tired of watching it. I got tired of seeing my faith get bashed. So I stopped watching Doctor Who. Long time fan of the show. But I got tired of being, browbeaten every single episode. Christians are bad. Christians are horrible. Judgmental people. What are we going to do about this? So I just stopped watching. Now later on, I did pick it up again. I started watching it on demand, and it was, I kind of skipped those episodes. I see that kind of happen. Okay, I'm not going to watch that one. And then later on, I saw that they stopped doing it. It seemed to be something that they did for a while, and then they stopped. So, but you still see it. How in the media are Christians portrayed? How are other people portrayed in the media? And we as Christians, I don't want to say we need to boycott things, but I think we need to make other choices in our entertainment value. Just because that's what they put out doesn't mean that's what we have to watch. When I listen to my music, I don't listen to a lot of music that portrays women as sex objects. I don't listen to a lot of things that portray call for violence or call for anger or stuff like that, because that is against what I feel the world should be going towards. So I don't do that. I don't put that into my head. I don't put that into my mind. I used to do a lot of politics. I used to be a very politically active person. I'll admit I lean to the right of center. Okay, so this was me typically. Actually, this was me at the time. I was way off to the right of center. I've changed, obviously. I do still lean right of center, but now I'm much more tempered. I looked at a lot of other things, and I'll tell you right now, the current political race we're in right now has taught me an awful lot about paying attention to what's going on, because how did we end up with a reality TV businessman, Donald Trump, as Republican nominee on, let's face it, my right-leaning side, and Hillary Clinton, who I don't trust her honesty at all in any way, shape, or form, and she's the Democrat side. I don't get it. I don't know how it happened, and so I'm out of the political weeds. I bowed out of the political game this season, which I don't know how you guys feel about it. Maybe you follow and you really support one side or the other, and good for you. You made a decision. I've been unable to so far. So that'll be a whole nother subject for another day. So I've rambled on quite a bit today, and I'm going to have a whole lot of editing to do on this one. But I thank you very much for listening to me ramble on. What kind of an idea do you have? Comment in the section below. Give me a comment. Tell me what you think about how we as Christians are portrayed in the media. What can we do to portray ourselves, to view differently. There's some movies out there to choose from. There's different media to choose from. We can support other things, give our money to other options out there. You've heard, you've probably seen some of the other movies that are good choices to make. Good Christian movies, not always very good production. One of my favorite Christian actors, David A.R. White. I'm going to give him a plug. He doesn't know me from anybody. If I see him on something, I'm interested. Do you have a Christian actor that you'd like to see on the mainstream? Tell me who your favorites. Tell me who is in your wheelhouse for people you like to watch. Tell me about your favorite Christian artists and music. Not all of them are Christian singers, but they are Christian in their lifestyle and Christian choices. I heard Lenny Kravitz is actually a devout Christian. He's had some hard situations that he's made for himself, but he is a Christian. I've heard Switchfoot, who is considered, we consider him a Christian rock band, but they don't consider themselves a Christian rock band, because if you listen to all of their stuff, some of it's Christian, some of it might be Christian but it doesn't mention Christ at all, or the Bible, or following. So they have a lot of different things. So I've got a lot of work to do. I've got a bunch of cutting to do, and try to make this sound like something that anybody else might want to watch. Just finished watching the Seahawks game, the first preseason game of 2016 against the Kansas City Chiefs. It was a tough game to watch, let me tell you. It was a test of not so much faith, because I don't mix my faith in my sports, a whole other subject there. But it was a test of my fandom as a Seahawks fan, and it was fun to watch that. And why not? Put it in the comments. What did you think of the Seahawks Kansas City Chiefs game if you watched it? It was fun. I enjoyed watching that game. That was a lot of, especially the last 2 minutes. Last 2 minutes were awesome. So tell me what you think, folks. Subscribe. There's going to be a whole lot more new content. I have lots of plans. We're going to be doing studies. We're going to be doing workshops. We're going to be doing music. You're going to watch me get better with guitar. You're going to see some unique instruments coming out. We've got I've got interviews I have planned. People are going to get I've got people who are secular. I'm going to have people I'm going to be giving warnings. Say, okay, you aren't going to want to have your children watching this one, because I know this guy. He's my So and we're going to be doing interviews of people who are homeschooling. We're going to be doing interviews of people I work with in my 40-hour-a-week job. Tell me what you think of what's going on out there in the world as Christians. We are the hands and feet, arms of God and Jesus. We have a job to do. How are we doing on that job? Are we portraying Christ, or are we portraying our own attitudes and thoughts about what gay people are doing, and what feminism is really about, and pay and all this stuff, which is all very important stuff, and we need to address it. Everybody else in the world is speaking up about it. We need to address it as Christians, not as the judgers of all this. And we are not the people who judge how a person's lifestyle should be, because our lives are so messed up too. But we need to be ready to step in and love these people, is my opinion. And how do we step up and love somebody who is not living the way we think they should? And I have a lot of opinions on that, because I have been that person who did not live the way Christians think you should. I've done a lot of bad things in my life. I've done a lot of drugs. I've done a lot of drinking. I no longer do either. But That doesn't mean Jesus didn't love me. He was just sitting there waiting for me to pull my head out of my butt and, say, hey, come help me, Jesus. And he did in huge ways. So, but in the modern world, we have a media that does not portray us accurately. Do we portray ourselves accurately? That's kind of part of the question. Are we giving them the opportunity to show how we really are? Or are we showing ignorance and judgment and hypocrisy and things like that? I want to know what you think we need to do to show better things. This is Cameron Brown signing off. Time for me to get to real work.